What's going on, fellow knife lovers? Welcome to Nice Knives. Today we're going to be taking a look at a knife that I enjoy very much. This knife is by Kansept, and this is the BTF, and that stands for the Basic Tanto Folder. Now this knife was designed by Rolf Helbig, I might have butchered that. Black stonewash blade, CPM S35VN, grass green carbon fiber. I love the carbon fiber on this knife here. I think the grassy green looks really, really nice. They do have a few different variations, a couple different carbon fiber colors. They also have another micarta version that is a tan micarta or beige micarta that's supposed to kind of look like bamboo, because this knife here is supposed to kind of replicate bamboo. They have some nice cutouts here on the scales and get you a really good grip. And this knife here, the designer took his inspiration from an old Japanese knife that was very popular and worked very well, and it was called the Kwaken, and that was made of bamboo, and it was supposed to be an exceptional knife. So he kind of got inspiration from that knife and said he turned it into a folder. So good job on the design and good execution on the manufacturing. I think this turned out very well. It's got a nice T8 pivot screw here, T8 for the body, which I like to see. You got your thumb disc here. It's got some nice little jimping, green anodization on this model. T6 holding on the tab on the spine of the blade there. It is right side tip up carry only, held on by T6 torque bits. And that's kind of where I fault the knife just a little bit. I don't see why it couldn't have been reversible. And then besides that, the torque bits here, they're not flat torque bits. They stick up a little bit. But it does go in and out of the pocket, no problem. I've had no issue with that whatsoever. There's plenty of room there, but it would have been nice to see those being flush. But other than that, that's the only thing I could fault this knife for. This thing just works fantastic, and I'm usually not a huge fan of knives that have a thumb disc, but this thumb disc works great on those ball bearings. Like I say, it's liner locked. They're skeletonized stainless liners, and I think this thing looks fantastic. You got a S35VN Tanto blade. You got the stonewash finish. You got, it just says BTF right there, and the designer Rolf Helbig, flat ground Tanto here. And I think this thing looks super cool, very comfortable in the hand, the way that's been kind of cut out. There's a few sections here. It's kind of hard to see on screen, but yeah, there's some nice cutouts there. Get you a nice grip. Barely feel that clip. There's really no hot spots here. That thumb disc acts like a nice resting spot for your thumb. Takes some nice power behind your cuts with this knife. The knife blade here is awesome too. It's got a nice crowned spine, which I think is fantastic. I love to see a crowned spine. So I think this knife is done very well. The action's great. You could thumb flick it, no problem. You could reverse flick it, no problem as well. Middle finger, index finger. Either one works very well. Right there's the index, and right there is the middle finger. So works fantastic, very drop shutty on those ball bearings, and it carries very well. Very sleek, it's not too heavy. I'm gonna guesstimate the weight on this, but I wanna say it's probably, let's throw a guess out right now. I'm gonna say 3 ounces. Let's just go with that and see what happens when I get there. So yeah, I really enjoy this knife. Very, very cool knife. I love that green carbon fiber. I think that's my favorite color for this knife. Let's get some measurements on this. We're looking at here, the entire length of the knife here is 7.5 inches. The blade is meeting up with the scales at 3.25 inches, and the cutting edge is just shy of that. The scales themselves, we're looking at 4.25 inches. The weight of the BTF here, like I said, I think it's 3, guys. We're gonna guess. I guessed that, so I didn't look it up. We're gonna find out. Try to be right for once here. 99.2 grams, 3.5 ounces. Yep, I'm off again. So not very good at guesstimating weight, so I come in pretty close. Now in the box, there's not a whole lot going on, guys. It just has the microfiber cloth inside. There was no extra hardware, which I guess is kind of, you know, whatever. You don't really need extra hardware too much for this knife. It does have the pouch it comes in. So yeah, not a lot. There's some paperwork in that little envelope with the microfiber cloth as well. Now let's go ahead and get some size comparisons of the BTF up against some other knives here. This is the Vosteed Thunderbird, and I wanted to choose this one because it also has a nice green carbon fiber scales. They're a little different though, but pretty similar. Another Tanto here. This is the Katuo Yakuza. This has that copper carbon fiber, and this is a compound ground Tanto. Very, very awesome knife there. Now this one here is a little on the weird side. This is the Damned Designs Oni. Very interesting knife. Very nice. I'm just not a huge fan of this front roller here, but it has great action, and it's a very aggressive Tanto. It looks great when it's open. So the Damned Designs Oni right there. Next up, got to do the Benchmade Bug Out. Put it up against the Bug Out. It's pretty close to the Bug Out. So let's get that right there so you can see that. Yeah, they are very similar in size. So yeah, I kind of like that there. Bonus knife, guys. Let's do a bonus knife. Now this knife here is more like a Grail knife. I've been wanting one of these for a long time. Here you go. This is the Heretic Pariah. This is the full-size Pariah. It's got the America carbon fiber scales, plunge lock, Magna Cut steel. It's got a DLC finish on the blade. This thing is super cool. The clip's got the nice big ball bearing in it. Goes in and out of the pocket, fantastic. So yeah, this has definitely been a Grail knife for me. The action on this thing is just wild. It's definitely a heavy blade. I mean, just look how thick that blade is compared to any of these other blades. That is just nuts. But yeah, it's a lot of steel. But fantastic. Love this knife. I wanted to show you guys that because we're going to get to a review on that knife here coming up in the future. Give you a little teaser. But so the BTF here, I think this knife is great. Fits very well in the hand. It carries very well in the pocket. I was carrying this thing around. Love the action. I've been fidgeting with it all day, using it on whatever I need to cut open. And I've had no issues with this knife whatsoever. The only thing, like I said, that I can fault it for is that those torque bits could have been T8s, I suppose, but it's fine. They're T6 for the clip. It would have been nice to just see them being flush torque bits, and it would have been nice to see that it was reversible. But other than that, for righties, you're not going to have any problem with this knife. You are, in fact, probably going to fall in love with this knife, just like I did. So this knife is going in my recommended playlist. So if you guys have any questions or any comments, please leave that down below. Let me know what you think of this knife. Is this something you would carry in your pocket? We're going to catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, people.